Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jae Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're thrilled to have Dr. Michael Grosser, the founder of Able Workplaces. Michael brings a PhD and over 20 years of experience, including 6 years of dedicated research to his mission of transforming workplace cultures through human capital consulting. Based in New York, New York, Able Workplaces, founded in 2020, is revolutionizing how leaders and teams thrive by bringing a human lens to decision making. We'll be exploring his founding story, how his business empowers organizations globally, and his vision for scaling this impact driven venture. With that being said, let's dive right in. Michael, welcome to Founders Future.
Jay, thank you for having me. It's really an honor to be on your podcast. It's such a great pleasure because I was listening into your podcast and there's always a learning. It's a learning from the negative examples, from the failures, but also from the success. So it's a pleasure if I can contribute to that.
Absolutely. And an absolute honor and a pleasure to have you on the show today, Michael. So I would really love to start at the top for our listeners. If you can take us back to the beginning, what specific problem in that workplace landscape really inspired you to start Able Workplaces?
Absolutely, Jay. My journey didn't start in business. It started in diplomacy.
Mm.
I'm originally from Vienna, Austria, in Europe, and began my career in 1997, working since for international organizations, public institutions like embassies, NGOs, global private firms. And over the years, I've lived and worked in more than 10 countries, and I've led major organizational projects, including a workplace stress study for 10,000 employees, a national culture transformation program during a post-conflict recovery, and the evacuation of Austrian nationals during the Arab Spring in Egypt. And all these experiences gave me a deep understanding of the systems, the crisis response, and the human behavior under pressure. But what fascinated me most wasn't policy, it was people. So why do people work? What are the hidden drivers that people show up every day at work? Why do teams succeed or fall apart? Why is conflict so common in the workplace? And what makes a leader truly trusted? And that curiosity led me into the world of workplace psychology. I've studied as a bachelor sociology, psychology. As an additional bachelor, I have a master's in strategy and corporate finance, another master in risk, and ultimately earned a PhD in industrial and organizational psychology with a focus on interpersonal trust. I can say from about myself that I am one of the few researchers who specialize in interpersonal trust building in high stakes leadership environments. In 2018, I moved to New York. I always dreamed of starting my own company. I was cautious and wasn't sure where to start. And then I met my now wife. She's American and her background is in startups. And we spent countless hours talking about challenges leaders face today, especially first time leaders and those leading a multi-generational workforce or remote teams or dealing with toxic workplace dynamics. And what we kept coming back to was this: the white collar word is, if not broken, it's brutal. It's
Mm.
hire and fire. Employees are often reduced to a matrix. The human factor gets lost, is lost. And the heart of it all was a massive unaddressed trust problems. So I've decided to act and I took everything, my research, my field experience, strategic insights, and launched Able.
Amazing.
And the word able was a deliberate choice because it plays around enabling, capable, leadable, trustable. And what we were not just coaching, we were really helping leaders humanize the workplace. And we developed science-based, research-driven tools that helped people build trust, reduce friction, and lead specifically with clarity. So we built something real, not just a glossy executive coaching thing that is just blink and shine. And that's how Able Leadership was born.
Amazing. So with that there, I mean, we have so many leaders and founders tuning into the podcast right now, Michael. So this is a phenomenal opportunity to really dive in. And I would love to get into the nuts and bolts with you. So, how exactly are you generating revenue with Able Workplaces, especially around that core offer, how it's structured for your clients, and who is your ideal client that you like to work with at Able Workplaces?
I think it is a good question, Jay. Able Leadership or Able Workplaces was initially a consulting company. And with the emergence of AI, we found ourselves in the middle of a pivotal transformation. We said, how can we position ourselves fit for the future? So we pulled the plug on Able as a traditional consulting firm, and we're now building Able Trust Systems. And think of it as McKinsey or Ernst and Young of interpersonal trust, but radically productized. So our focus is razor sharp. We are a productized trust intelligence company. We're building a trust intelligence infrastructure to help executives, investors diagnose, repair, and lead with trust in high risk environments. So we're aiming at executives, HR sphere, or first time leaders like in startups. What are our offerings? And we have a three-tiered model. Right now, we're developing PDF toolkits. It helps us to monetize and build a foundation. Able sells now 5 high-impact digital products like trust diagnostics, performance review systems, decision-making frameworks as immediately usable standalone toolkits for executives and organizations. The next phase will be AI-enabled diagnostics, a data and platform layer, where we are launching AI-powered trust scores, dashboards, behavioral risk assessments for leadership teams, but designed for use by boards, private equity, and HR leaders. And lastly, our third phase will be SaaS and licensing, because we want to position ourselves, and we will position ourselves as a global standard for executive trust intelligence through white-labeled platforms, especially aiming at PE funds and enterprise-wide trust infrastructure integration.
So on that front, I mean, are you also with that three-tiered model, are you also providing leadership training and executive coaching? Is that something that's also there at Able?
We do have it, but the focus shifts definitely away because we see a decline in classic coaching, especially coaching and consulting. AI basically can do everything we have done, not better, but it can do for a fraction of a price. So many first-time leaders just go on AI or go ChatGPT and ask them questions. We usually come in when ChatGPT fails or the first-time leaders say, hey, this doesn't bring us anywhere. But our main focus will be on new Able as with a new business model.
Amazing there. So with that, obviously you have that focus on the three-tiered model as that productized offer there. The niche is incredible and what you're bringing to the table is amazing there. So what's working best for you right now, Michael, as far as the acquisition side of things goes? Are you running ads? Are you doing anything around social media? Is it referral based heavily on that side? Walk us through what channels are most effective for you right now.
So right now we're generating leads through a mix of organic channels, strategic outreach, and local activations. We generate leads via LinkedIn posts, email sequences, and a free trust score or free trust score tools. I speak on podcasts, run roundtables on executive risks, which pull in consulting leads, and especially with past clients. And we have created executive events like a trust risk roundtable. And those continue to be strong sources of mid-ticket consulting leads. Lastly, I recently moved to Montana and we grow our local growth in Montana, where I currently live. And Montana has a surprisingly vibrant, strong, and very active startup ecosystem, probably due to the proximity to San Francisco. So we run free business lunches, university presentation. We have a very big research heavy based university, Montana State. And also we run presentations for the startup community. So we basically give out free goodies, and this has been a powerful way to reach especially first-time leaders and early-stage founders who are experiencing culture and leadership misfires for the very first time. How can I do this? I have this great idea, but suddenly I have 20 people. How do I run with people? That's again where we can give out our free goodies.
So with that, can you walk us through a bit of your mindset on how you're planning on really scaling Able. Taking it to that next level, are you thinking about running ads and getting it out there more? What does that process look like right now for you to scale and grow?
Jay, we have these two big bottlenecks to growth, which are really limiting. And because we prepare to launch or relaunch Able in 2 weeks, we need to see that we scale to lead conversion and, of course, the founder bottleneck. We're a very lean team of 12, 13 people now. So what we're trying to is rolling out phase one, which is basically meeting people, talking to people, because at the same time, while we talk to everyone in businesses, we get a feeling of what are their real problems. We don't want to solve problems that are not on topic. I found it able because I saw that there is a specific need for us, which is the interpersonal trust fear. And that's the direction we go. Meeting people, having more meetings, in-person meetings, roundtables, downloadable free content that generates interest for more. And yes, of course, LinkedIn, although I see decline in the LinkedIn outreach, LinkedIn becomes more like Facebook nowadays, in my experience, especially in the sphere that where we operate, HR and human capital management.
So with that, you mentioned something there that kind of stuck out to me, and that was on the bottleneck side of things, where you said a big thing for you right now is that lead conversion. So is it something that around the quality of leads that you're bringing in is a bit tougher? So is that something that you're looking to really improve on and get that higher quality lead so you can have that conversion rate a bit higher?
The interesting thing is visibility is not the issue for us. I know how to drive attention. I know how to spark interest.
Yeah.
The real challenge for us is translating that visibility into consistent high quality conversions at scale, because we're shifting away from the traditional classic paper-based consulting coaching. Right now, the system isn't automated or predictable enough for me to handle the volume we are aiming for. That's why I'm trying to build, or we are trying building a frictionless funnel designed to move decision makers from a free diagnostic into really tailored trust report and towards high leverage consultants. The goal is just to convert interest into engagement without requiring the manual intervention at every stage. It would be great if potential clients come to us so we don't need to come to them. It's the holy grail. How can we do that?
Absolutely. So with that right there, talk to us a little bit about where your mindset is right now on the front of your sales process. I know you said you have a team of 12, 13 people right now. So what does that look like? Do you have a sales team, marketing team, assistants? What is that team made up of, and how's that sales process look?
Jay, that's a very good question because we're, like I said before, we're very lean. We have 13 people and we've scaled down. Our team is a cross-disciplinary team. It's part academic, it's part operator, it's part brand strategist and consultants. I would say our team together has 250 years of experience if we would throw in all together. So really broad, wide, deep experience. My wife is working with me on my company. She manages the campaign execution and back operations because her background is in startups and marketing, but soon she will launch her own startup. That's another game changer. I am the lead product, brand, and strategic direction. What we outsourced is design and funnel builds to a European company that handles it really well. Right now, I'm thinking of scaling it beyond launch. I might need two critical hires, a closer who can really convert mid-market consults into revenue, someone who is fluent in trust, leadership, enterprise value, and a developer or like a no-code builder to help scale and maintain the Trust Core platform as we move from just PDF tools to interactive diagnostics. The good thing is there is not a shortage of great people out there.
Incredible. So I know that we touched a bit on that bottleneck and what you're thinking about. So walk us through really your vision for the next 6 to 12 months here. What does the rest of 2025 look like for you, Michael, especially with all of these goals that you have in mind? What are you laser focused on for the rest of this year to really achieve that scale and growth that you're aiming for?
We're very excited because in the next 2 weeks, we're launching Able Trust Systems officially with a very sharp new position. We don't sell coaching, we build infrastructure for leadership. So our next 12 months are structured for rapid monetization, validation, and platform development. So Q3, we are planning to sell all 5 premium toolkits and build a reoccurring consulting pipeline. So we're aiming at a very small revenue of 25,000, just in very conservative numbers. Q4, we want to launch, or we will launch the Trust Score MVP. We'll use soft R and Typeform as a simple low friction diagnostic tool. And beginning of 26, Q1 in 26 will be our first licensing deals. We will close our first licensing deal, begin development on the full Trust Intelligent dashboard. That will be a total game changer. And then rolling into Q2 in 2026, we'll launch the Trust Intelligence platform as our core SaaS product. Our aim for the first year is, I would say, rather low. We're aiming at 250K for revenue in year 1.
It's absolutely incredible. Just so many things that you're looking to build and grow on to be able to achieve that. And I think that's truly the beauty of why I love being the host of the show is hearing so many different personalities and different founders and leaders and seeing how you operate and how you navigate the challenges, as you mentioned earlier, a couple bottlenecks, but then look at all of the goals that you have set out in front of you to achieve that 250,000 first year and grow beyond that. So just amazing. And I know so many of our listeners are getting motivated by what you're doing and the success that you're seeing. So truly an honor having you on the show so far, Michael. So let's talk a bit about your mindset on the industry as a whole. How do you see the human capital consulting industry evolving in the coming years, especially with your human-centric approach? What are you really doing to position Able at the forefront of that evolution that you're picturing?
I hate to picture a negative picture, but I use the term of my wife, white collar world is broken and it's a shit show out there.
Yeah.
Trust is collapsing across institutions, leadership teams, entire industries. I just want to cite the 2024 Edelman Trust Barometer. Only 24% of Americans trust company leadership. This is insane because it directly impacts loyalty, performance. Internally, trust breakdowns are now the leading cause of executive team dysfunction, hidden attrition, and post-merger failure. At the same time, the traditional consulting model is, I would say, very deteriorating. Coaching, facilitation, and culture work have become commoditized. It's more sold as a feel-good session with no system, no metrics, no strategic accountability. And the buyers are done with vague advice and personality-driven delivery. I see so often, or in the past, we've stepped into so many failed projects where they had very expensive consultant companies coming in, turning every stone over when it didn't work. And I believe that the next wave of leadership solution will not be service-based. They will be productized, diagnostic first, and risk aware. So winner firms will be those who can operationalize trust as a measurable asset. How can we measure trust? Productize behavioral insight into a strategic decision tool, which is a very complex and complicated tool. You can't do it just out of gut feeling. And of course, replace session-based consulting with a scalable systems that boards and CEOs can really rely on. And yeah, I think that's where we are in the spectrum. We're not in this business of soft skills or motivational coaching. What we are building is practical research-based. Everything we do is based on science and research to help the organization see where the trust is breaking down and do something about it, especially at the executive level where it matters most.
I think that's important. Is really positioning yourself and putting yourself on the forefront, as you're mentioning, because there is so much going on. To have that wherewithal and really be positioning yourself as the go-to in the market is going to make such a difference and such a factor in having that trust in the workplace is going to be so important. So with that there, I definitely would love to take us into the lightning round to have a bit more of an understanding around a tool or a resource. It really sounds like you have a lot of AI forward mindset and thinking here. So whether it's a research insight, a leadership strategy, an AI tool, what is one tool or resource that's just been a real game changer for Able this far?
Interestingly, ChatGPT and Typeform. I was very critical, especially as an academic. I tried to use and utilize ChatGPT and totally failed, and it got better, and you can really see day by day how it's better. So we used Typeform and ChatGPT to build an interactive prototype of our test score. And we don't needed a code. We don't needed a coder. And the fun thing and great thing about it is it let us test real world value very fast before even investing in full software development. And that's an absolute game changer. We see real time results almost immediately with I have absolutely no background in IT and coding and software. So it really helps me.
Amazing. And on the side of advice, I would definitely love to hear some of this from you here. What's the best piece of advice, Michael, that you have personally ever received about scaling a mission-driven business as you are now?
That's a very good question. Sell the outcome, not the process, because
Yes.
no one buys coaching or alignment. Everybody buys protection, clarity, and trust that leadership won't fail under pressure. An executive out there doesn't have the time to listen to coaching or how can I utilize my theory. He has to make sure that with very limited knowledge that my leadership won't fail, break under pressure.
Amazing. And then lastly, but definitely not least, to wrap up the show, what is a piece of advice that you could offer to our listeners tuning in, Michael? Especially those
Fantastic.
founders who are just starting out or looking to build an impactful business as you are. What can you leave them with before we wrap up?
I love this question because I got two advice from my wife and from my PhD supervisor. When I wrote my PhD dissertation, I started to question if my PhD is good enough, detailed enough, wide enough. And my doctoral supervisor said to me, Michael, don't aim for the Nobel Prize. Get
Mm,
this thing out. Get it out.
mm,
And what advice would I give to new founders? Forget perfect. Build fast, talk to buyers early, and lead with what keeps your customer up at night.
mm.
It's a very highly complex world out there with a lot of uncertainty. In my case, that wasn't the culture or engagement. It was, can I trust my leadership team to handle what's coming? And that's the problem we're solving.
Incredible. With that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Michael, I just want to thank you again. Incredible having you on the show, sharing the journey so far and your insights, and clear as day with your passion and your intelligence and your drive that you're going to do some amazing things in the space. So it was truly an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show, talking us through all of your successes so far. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, which I know so many of you have, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also check out Able Workplaces at ableworkplaces.com to learn more about their services and follow Michael on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Michael Grosser 1. And for more resources and insights, you can follow us at closers.io, where we're dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth through trained appointment setters and world-class marketing systems. Until then, keep climbing, and we'll see you on the next one.